What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to part 2. I'm Johnny Fandom, and I do a bunch of fandom videos. Make sure that button and that button if you're new to this channel. And we are going to jump right into the continuation of what if the Weasleys never won the grand prize. If you haven't seen the first video, make sure you watch it. Link will be in the description down below, as well as I'll put up there. So we're going to jump right into this because I kind of went off at a tangent last video and it was all that I did, so I had to do a part 2. So we'll see where I go. Let's get into it. So where we left off is we had Peter Pettigrew trapped in the tower, just like Sirius Black was in the original story. Only this time around, we have Fudge coming to see Pettigrew, not Sirius. Fudge sees Pettigrew in the tower, and he goes to call the Dementors. While Professor Snape, kind of guards him. Lupin, on the other hand, he still didn't get a chance to drink the Wolfbane potion. Possibly not in time. Because he still ran down and met them and found Harry, Ron, Hermione with Peter Pettigrew. But we'll see if that plays out. We still need to figure out the fact that Buckbeak is still on trial. And Dumbledore is going to pull Harry, Hermione, and Ron off their side and say some few words of encouragement and saying, about being a good wizard and being able to forgive, trying to, I think he wants to, kind of let Harry know, like, yeah, Peter Pettigrew betrayed the parents, but you can't be so angry at him. And he's gonna tell Hermione 3 turns to do it, and maybe more than one instant life might be saved today. This time, Ron, Harry, and Hermione all go back, and they go to save Buckbeak, just like they would in the original story. They go down to see Hagrid, and when the executioner and everything starts coming to kill Buckbeak, they sneak off into the woods, unhitch him, bring him away, and executioner kills a pumpkin. Now, at this point, Harry's talking to Hermione, and he's like, what did Dumbledore mean by we can save more than one life? Hermione, being very smart, probably says, I think he means Peter Pettigrew, because although he deserves to go to prison, I wouldn't want him to, get a Dementor's kiss. And Harry says, what's the Dementor's kit? Obviously, he doesn't know what Dementors are, so Hermione explains to him what Dementors do, and that it's worse than death because they basically just suck your soul right out of you and become an empty shell of a body. And Harry's like, honestly, I don't care, because, you know, he killed my parents. You know, if I could kill myself, I would. And Hermione's probably just like, no, you wouldn't. And he goes, so I feel like they're gonna travel up and witness everything happening, you know, trying to stay behind because they can't be seen. And at some point, Hermione realizes that Lupin is turned into a werewolf. And Snape has to leave, which leaves Pettigrew unguarded. Where Harry is going to sneak in there and threaten to kill him. And at this point, Harry realizes, same way he did in Visual Story, no, I'll spare you. But I like to think he releases him and puts him on Buckbeak and tells him to fly away. I just kind of want to picture Peter Pettigrew flying Buckbeak. Anyway, Harry learns a valuable lesson, and Peter Pettigrew still owes Harry. That's going to play down the road. And since Fudge already did see Pettigrew and knows that Pettigrew is alive, Sirius is still released. But of course, he leaks information that, you know, Pettigrew's, you know, still at large. But he's gonna release stuff that's saying that, you know, Sirius Black is innocent, and, you know, we have Peter Pettigrew in custody. You know, he's gonna lie, probably. Anyway, so cut to the end of the school year. We're gonna be headed back to the Dursleys, unfortunately, but not for that long. Really, not for that long, because he's gonna go to the Weasleys, and then they'll go to the Quidditch World Cup. But in the original story, they go there, he's there for a few days, and then they go like right away. This time he's gonna go there much sooner, not spend a lot of time at the Weasleys, because there's a certain surprise. He gets to the Weasleys, and we see Sirius Black. Obviously, Harry doesn't know who Sirius Black is. He's heard the name because now he knows that Peter Pettigrew's that one to actually betray his parents, not him. And he's introduced, and, you know, they kind of catch up. Sirius Black explains that I'm your godfather. He goes, I also want to thank you so much for what you did. And, you know, Sirius tells him, you're a better man than I am for, you know, freeing him. And Harry kind of shocked at it. He goes, Dumbledore explained everything to me. So I feel like they want to, you know, get caught up on stuff, and, you know, Harry tells them what happened in his first year, happens in his second year, and they just kind of get caught up. And, you know, Sirius tells them, you know, some fun stories about his dad, and, you know, when they were kids, you know, nothing too crazy yet, but, you know, talks about how Lupin, you know, was a good friend of theirs. Talks about Lupin was a good friend of theirs and all that. And unfortunately, Lupin's not going to be a teacher this year because, no, he's werewolf. That part still plays, in fact. Anyway, so Sirius says, I got a big surprise for you. I want to be in your life more. So I am going to be your new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher this coming year. You might be thinking, well, what about Mad Eye Moody? Don't worry. I still got it. So, they all go to the Quidditch World Cup, including Sirius. And they enjoy the Quidditch World Cup. They're up in the box. I'm sure, very similar to the original story, except for the fact that Sirius is there. Weasley still make the bet. And we have Lucius Malfoy making some comment about the Weasleys, how to sell their house to get tickets for here. And Sirius is going to turn around with a quick step back and say, I should tell you what your fellow Death Eater said about you in Azkaban. And Lucius just shuts up. Right, that one. And just like the original story, we see Winky, the house elf, with an empty seat. Because he's waiting for his master, who never shows up. And of course, that empty seat holds an invisibility cloak with Barty Crouch Jr. And before we get back to the story, I am going to crack open a can of Raze's drink, Blue Shock, because it's 2 in the morning and I need to wake up. Raze's drink is a energy product brought to you by Rep Sports. That's REPP Sports.com. And they have other products as well, dietary supplements, pills, workout protein shake mix. They even have pancake mix for that nice power pancake in the morning. If you want to save yourself 15% off, go to REPPsports.com and use coupon code Johnny Huey to save yourself 15% off. Now let's get back to the Quidditch World Cup. So, the Quidditch World Cup plays out exactly the same. Crumb catches a snitch, but loses the match. They go down to celebrate in the tent, and all the commotion breaks out. They start running away. Death Eaters are torturing. Sirius, helps Mr. Weasley, gather the kids and get them out of there. They do get separated still. And that's when Harry realizes he lost his wand. And that's when they see Barty Crouch Jr. They see Malfoy. And of course, Malfoy makes the same comment about, Granger, you should be careful because you're next. And then they get, step in the woods, and that's when you see Barty Crouch Jr. Put the dark mark. And then Mr. Weasley and all them come over and find them. They conjured it. Whole big fight happens, second original story, and they find Winky. Well, Barty Crouch finds Winky with the wand that was Harry's wand, and then he, kind of dismisses Winky as a house elf, and that whole thing does play out the same. Now going to school, Barty Crouch Jr., instead of taking place of Moody, he's going to take place of his father entirely. He is going to still be at the Quidditch World Cup. He's still going to be in charge of the Triwizard Tournament, and he's still going to make the same plans that he did, because he's setting up the Triwizard Tournament so he can easily still make the Triwizard Cup a point key at the end. And he's still going to put Harry's name in the cup, and he's still going to try to persuade Harry in certain ways on doing that. So yeah. The only difference is this time around, we're not going to see Barty Crouch dead. And Barty Crouch is not going to be sick, where we're going to have Percy kind of take his place a lot. That's the only difference. I can really say that. So Triwizard Tournament goes off without a hitch. Sirius is talking to Harry, and at one point when they're at the Weasleys, they did do the. Sorry, I forgot about this. They're at the Weasleys. They did the playing Quidditch in the yard. Obviously, Harry still had his Nimbus because it didn't get blown away into the Wampa Willow, because there was no storm, no Dementors to create it, him falling off. And I like to think that Sirius still said to Harry, I want to get you something because I've missed so many birthdays, and buys him the firebolt. And Harry, being a great friend, gives his Nimbus to Ron. So that's just a little backtrack, but we got there. So Ron has a Nimbus, and he's excited to, try out for the Quidditch team. Obviously, there's no Quidditch this year. Anyway, tournament goes without a hitch. Sirius is the teacher. He's a very good teacher, by the way. Just saying, he's a very good teacher. Like, he's seen some. Just leave it at that. Anyway, so obviously Harry and Ron still kind of get into a predicament about, putting your name in the cup, and, how dare you, and Ron still, says, that he's kind of upset, and Harry still goes down to see Hagrid by himself, and Hagrid shows him the dragons. So he knows dragons are the first task. At this point, Harry is going to tell Sirius, like, hey, it's dragons. And Sirius will probably tell him to use it, because they have Triwizard's Curse, if he tells you, because he was going to tell me using Conjecture Curse, original story, he said that in the fireplace. So, yeah, we'll go with that. And Barty Crouch Jr., who looks like Barty Crouch, is bugging him that, do you know what you're doing for the first task? And Harry's like, yeah, I got it. And, he's bugging him, what are you gonna do, And, Harry's like, dude, like, I'm not entirely sure, like, what are you trying to do? Like, why are you trying to, like, cheat? Like, relax, I got this, like, being weird, honestly. So, same thing happens. They go through. Harry still gets to Hungarian Horntail, and probably ties with the Crumb because he did basically the exact same thing. And then we move on to a second task where Harry finds out the egg because he goes to the bathroom, just like he did Richard's story, because Cedric told him. Because he told Cedric about the dragons, finds out about the mermaids, and then I think Sirius would know a lot more about charms that to do this, and probably would teach him the bubblehead charm instead of the gillyweed. And Barty Crouch Jr. is just like, the Sirius Black here. I'm good. He's doing fantastic. Same thing, he goes down the bubblehead charm. He helps them out. He saves, Ron. And I feel like he does the same thing where he kind of waits there and Fleur doesn't show up, so he saves both of them. Anyway, so he still gets extra points for that. And we move on to the third task. For the final and third task, the maze, where the same thing happens. Harry and Cedric both meet up at the end and grab the cup at the same time, get transported to the graveyard. Voldemort returns, kills Cedric, unfortunately. Exactly the same thing. The graveyard plays out exactly the same. When they come back, Sirius, Dumbledore, anybody going down to panic. And we have Barty Crouch luring Harry away. And this when Dumbledore kind of notices that they disappeared. And they would catch up to him because I'm not sure if Barty would take him because Moody took Harry to his office. So it's a little different. But I feel like, if Dumbledore and Hufflepuff were to, catch him, they can bring him to the office, still give him the serum, and figure out what happened and find out that it's Barty Crouch Jr., not Barty Crouch. And they ask him where Barty Crouch's body is. And he probably hid somewhere because I assume he's staying at the castle and not traveling back and forth every day because it's kind of crazy. So that all plays out. So Barty Crouch is alive, but I feel like he's, ashamed of himself because he helped his son escape, and he probably would go to prison as well. So Barty Crouch and Barty Crouch Jr. both get arrested. And actually arrested this time, not just kiss, like Barty Crouch did, to his son. Well, not Barty Crouch, Fudge did. So Fudge has a big deal on his plate. Anyway, I'd also like to think that Sirius still signs a permission form for Harry so he can still go to Hogsmeade. And him and Sirius are discussing, and he says, hey, I'd like to go back with you because I don't want to go back to the Dursleys. And Dumbledore explains, like, Harry, I'm sorry, but you have to go back because the protection that is put in place, you have to call that place where he's home. But you only have to go back there for a short time. And Sirius says, Harry, I promise I'll be there as soon as I can. And we'll take you, and I'll show you my home, and you can stay there the rest of the summer. I promise. If you want to find out what happens, you have to wait for part 3, unfortunately. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. If you haven't seen part 1, you can check out part 1 right here. And if you want to see part 3, you can check out part 3 right here. If it's not there, obviously I didn't do it yet.